To all my fellow millennials and my Gen Zers, man, you guys better start handling your money because these boomers are not passing their wealth down to no one. This generation of boomers thinks that the Gen Zs have it easy, the millennials have it easy. They are holding on to their wealth and they're not passing it down to no one. And to be honest with you though, I never expected anything from my parents whatsoever. They taught me how to be a hardworking person, to be independent, so I never depended on them at all. But when you start thinking about how expensive it is, right, during these times, they need to make that money stretch as much as possible. So for some, I certainly understand that, right? There's a lot of right now boomers who are struggling, and the only thing they got was the house that they bought with a few buttons and lints that is like a huge part of their wealth, and they're not willing to give it up, right? That's why people right now just like trying to buy a house, and they're just, listen, the boomers are like, you think I'm gonna ask for just the asking price? Nah, I'm going 20% higher because, I mean, that's smart because what else are you gonna do, right? What else are you gonna do when you sell that house? Keep some equity for yourself. You're gonna have to go buy yourself another house. And during these times when a lot of these boomers are not generating any income, what are we expecting them to do? Right? This is the only money they have for themselves. They need to make it last. They need to make it last as much as possible because, in all fairness, listen, they worked hard, right? Our parents and these boomers, they worked really hard. They've been through a lot of crap, right? That we never been through, right? Some times when it was like inflation was ridiculously high. They dealt with so many things back in the days that we didn't deal with, right? The working conditions that they had, there was no remote working, right? My mom, as soon as she had me, she was back into work like 3 weeks, a month later. If that, I think she told me it was 2 weeks actually. My mom was 2 weeks, so she had 4 kids. Every time she had a kid, 2 weeks right back into work. That whole maternity leave didn't exist. Can you imagine paternity leave? I mean, hell no. Right now, there's some men that laugh at other men for taking paternity leave. Okay? None of that stuff existed. So for them, they have like this rough, rugged, basically handle your own business mentality that a lot of these people now do not exhibit. And that transferring the wealth is not a thing. I think I read somewhere, it was like a bunch of $1 trillion, man. I don't know the exact numbers. It was like more than $1 trillion of wealth right now being held by the boomers and and millennials and Gen Zs. The kids are like, come on, big, let me get that money. And they're not going to give it to nobody. I'm wondering if they read that book, Die with Zero. That's probably their intention. They're going to spend all that money, live it up, and then just leave nothing to pass down. They're not going to leave anything. And I respect it because at least now we understand we have to just handle our business on our own, right? Once we get to a certain age where we become, the one to pass wealth, we can make that decision on what we want to do with it, right? If we want to pass it down. Me personally, my intention is to pass down something, right? To help them, to help my kids. I got a son and a daughter, to help them financially. But I'm not living my life to just like build this wealth to just dump it on them, right? I still want to enjoy life. And with the life expectancy increasing even more and more, I'm going to need that money to last a whole lot longer. And to me, because people are saying they want this wealth to be passed down. But then it's like, okay, yes, I get it. But what about the boomers that are struggling? Are you willing to help them out financially? Hell no. Most people are like, man, I am not paying I'm not going to be paying for my parents. They had this opportunity to build wealth. They blew it. They were traveling, vacation. They didn't give me any money. So I was like, screw them. Some people have that vision, man. In the United States, that's how it is. It's like, we just handle our own business. Our parents don't live with us. We believe in independence. So it's like, do you want that situation to happen, right? Do you want them to run out of money, give you some money, like, hey, look, you owe me. Like, you owe me, can I live with you? Like, there's like a whole big mess in that situation where it's like, what are you going to do, man? But boomers are not giving up that money. So people out there now need to start saving, right? You need to prioritize your investing. You need to start prioritizing all these opportunities that you have that they never have, right? Most of these boomers never had a 401k, like throughout their whole working career. Some of them may have had it later in their working career, but not during their whole working career. Now we have Roth IRAs. We have opportunities to get multiple jobs, some side gigs. It's not that hard nowadays to get to do Uber, Instacart. There's so many opportunities out there right now that we need to certainly make sure we handle. Okay, and let's not even front. The scary thing about this whole situation is, it's like, yeah, the boomers are not passing anything down, but some of them got nothing. Right? I read somewhere the average 401k balance for someone like in the 50s is like $250,000 to $300,000, somewhere within that range, and that's it. Right? Whatever happened to being a millionaire? That's not the average. Okay, the average people do not have a lot of money saved up anyway, so they really have nothing to truly pass down. All the money they have is just to live off of, and a bulk of that money is being eaten up by healthcare costs. Right? So which is why we need to take care of our health, because listen, I don't want to save and invest and work this hard. That way, when I'm older, all that damn money is going for my healthcare. That's going to be ridiculous. I'm not trying to do that. So that's why I'm trying to live like a healthy life as much as possible. But that is the harsh reality. Like, life is expensive for boomers as well. So they're holding on to it. Right? That's why house prices are just going to continue to go up, and the inventory is going to be so low, because boomers are not willing to give it up. Listen, in my neighborhood right now, I say there is probably like four young families. Well, I consider young, consider myself young. I'm 43. Like 4 young families. The rest are old, and it's probably like, it's not even families. It's just like husband and wife, and it's probably like, I don't know, probably 15 houses, right? So for every four that's young, and like 15, 20, they're all older, and they're holding on, man. They held on strong during this housing market just on fire. They held on strong. They didn't sell. I mean, my home, they didn't hold on that strong. They sold, and I was lucky to buy it, but everyone else held on. My neighborhood is a lot of old people, and they're not going to be willing to give up their homes. So for everyone out there right now, handle your finances, because boomers, they're not going to give it up, man. So you ask for to go to work hard, start investing, and make sure you're not putting yourself in a position where you're hoping wealth could get passed down to you, because it's not going to happen.